The thoughts, views, and opinions of In the Red podcast and its host and our guest is strictly for entertainment purposes only.
All right, listen. This before we get started, I know everybody wants to get to the Diddy shit, and you want to talk about that. But listen, before we get to all of that, this goes out for the bigger podcasts and the podcasters or whatever, and y'all like to talk about, you're not you don't care about relationships in the bids and blah blah blah. You're your own person, you're your own man, blah blah blah, or female, whatever. And then you turn around and when a topic comes up, and y'all are the ones who bring up the topic, or your co-hosts are the ones that bring up the topic, and then you turn around and say something like, "Oh, I want to say something, but I can't. I want to say something, but I can't." Then don't say it. Don't bring it up. Don't bring up the topic because it's whack. Y'all are killing what podcasting is about. Podcasting is about like free thought, getting it off, talking the truth, right? Y'all are slowly like, pulling back on what podcasting is, and you're gonna turn it into like being like regular media. Regular, like what y'all are doing is the basic of like a news channel of some sort. If you don't care about relationships, if that's not, you can't podcast properly and you're talking about, like real life situations or present time situations, things that are relevant right now, and then turn around and say, I can't do it. I can't do it. If you consider yourself to be a pod Kong or a podzilla, and then you feel the need that every time, a topic comes up, oh yeah, but it's going to mess up my relationship, then don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. Right? Don't bring it up at all. Don't talk about it. We don't want to hear about it because all you're doing is, like it's a hard listen now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm nowhere near the majority of you guys out there. You know what I mean? Like my joint is just started. I'm just getting up off the floor. But if you feel the need that you need to bring up the topic and it's a hot topic, and then you say something after you bring it up and then say, "Oh, I can't talk about it," or I don't want to touch on that because then don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Be what it is. But if you're going to stand on saying, hey, listen, let's just talk some truths here, I'm like, then so be it. That's it. You know what I mean? And another thing I want to address too. Listen, if you ain't never pick up a mic in any aspect of your life, whether it be from, it don't have to be podcasting, whether it be from DJing, it could be karaoke. If you ain't never grab a mic and put vocals on a mic, then please, I don't really want any feedback from you. Right? Now, let me just clear it up. I'm talking to the ones who, oh, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. Oh, you should have said this. You should have said, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear. What you can do is go, they have a bunch of setups where it could be like $300 tops to get started and sound somewhat pro, right? And you can get it done, and then you can do your own thing, and you can say it the way you want to say it. You can add the people you want to add, and you can do the things you want to do. But until you do that, I don't want it, unless I ask you for your opinion. I really don't care. I don't. Right? So for you podzillas and pod kongs or whatever, if you have a topic that you don't want to talk about, or you have a topic that you bring up and then you turn around and you don't want to talk about it, then don't bring it up. Don't want to hear it. For you people that have the opinions of what I should say and what I should do and what I shouldn't say and what I shouldn't do, or who I should add or who I shouldn't have, if you ain't never grab a mic, I don't want to hear from you. You could shut the F up too. Don't care about neither one of them. It's annoying. It's annoying. I don't know which one is more annoying, A or B. Either way, it's all annoying. Right? And that's where I'm at with it. So, with that being said, we're going to get to this Diddy shit. Let's start the show. All right. Listen. So, I had my little rant in the beginning. It's all good. All right. Got that up off my chest. Feels good. But here's the thing. Now, I'm not caping for the dude, Diddy. Let me get that out of the way. Not caping for him at all. You know what I mean? I've said it in the last one, like, and I've said it in a pod before. You know, who you think he is, you know, he is, right? But here's the thing that boggles my mind. And the thing that bothers me about the whole situation. A lot of you are either podding or you're doing your little blogs or whatever. When I say podding, I mean you're doing your podcast or you're doing your blog. And you're not really getting facts, right? What you're doing is taking clips or excerpts of things that you've heard and compiling it on with opinions and then putting that out to the masses. And I think that's highly disrespectful. And not only this, but just disrespectful to the mic. I've told y'all before, like, how important this microphone is and can be, and how powerful this microphone is and can be, right? So when you're putting out information, you got to just remember that it lasts forever, right? And it's not about, the backlash from whoever you're talking about. It's not about that, but it's just like, like, you say certain things and it can come back to you. And you got to be mindful of those things, right? So let's just deal with the fact, because like people are talking about the Diddy situation and they're like, can't wait for such and such to talk and can't wait for such and such to talk. And really and truly, none of those people are in his court case to talk, right? That's not what it's about. There's a few things that bother me with the case. Now and I don't want to say a personal level because we don't have a personal level, but I'm saying on let's just say on a judicial level, right? What he's being charged with and then what is popular opinion about who he is and what he's done are two completely different things, right? When I say I have a problem with what's happening, so he was arrested and he's charged with racketeering. Now, if anybody is familiar with the judicial system, or if you even have slight knowledge of, like things, situations like, for instance, with the mafia or the mob or whatever you want to call, right? When it's a racketeering charge, it's never just one person. That's odd on its own. You can't have a racketeering charge and it just be, and they just bring in one person and then that person has to, that's not how it works. When it's usually a racketeering charge, usually what it is, it's a group or a set of people that they all bring in because these set of people are part of this charge, right? And the number doesn't matter, but racketeering is usually a few individuals or a bunch of individuals that are all in cahoots with the same charge. It is, in my years of living, I've never heard of anybody getting a racketeering charge by themselves. You might, because of media or whatever, you might have only heard of like one person because that person may have been popular, but there's usually other people involved. And yet to see any any other person involved except what they're saying they have in paperwork or proof of, but nobody else was brought in during this charge and you know what I mean, and the arrest. It's just an odd thing, right? Secondly, another issue I'm having with this case is the timing of the issue of this case. Now, again, not caping for this guy, not at all, not caping for him. But I'm just saying there are things about this whole situation that just seem very odd. And I'm not saying that he's not guilty. Again, I'm not caping. But I'm just saying that there are things that are very odd. Excuse me. There are things that are very odd with this situation. And one of those being is, besides nobody else being racked up into the racketeering, is the timing, right? So, everybody talks about, he sued back the liquor company, and that is very true. He did. He did as a businessman. He should have. He did the right thing, right? Business-wise, I'm not talking about anything on a personal level. I'm not talking about anything, with the Cassies and all that. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about on a business level, what they were doing and what they were in business doing. He did the right thing. Right. Then the next part of it is, he was trying to. No, he did sue him. He did sue him. And from my understanding, and y'all can fact check it because this is not the Fact Network, right? He won the case against the liquor company, right? And all this transpired and started and kicked off right about the time when they should have started paying, or it was time for them to pay, right? So you got to wonder, all right, well, I think it's common knowledge now on who backs this company, right? So it goes way over even his head. All parties involved, nobody's innocent in any aspect. But what I'm saying is, it just seems like one of those things like, you want to bite the hand that feeds you? Well, hey, listen, here's a spank for that ass, right? Get it right. Understand what you're doing and who you're talking to and who you're moving with, right? That's what it feels like. Again, not caping, just dealing with facts. Feels like, you want to get out of line, you want to get out of pocket. This is what you want to do. You forget that you got skeletons in your pocket. All right, in your closet. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me show you what it is. How about we expose some of those things in your closet and slowly but surely make you pay for them. And what we'll do is, we won't necessarily make you guilty in the courts, but we can definitely make you guilty amongst popular opinion, right? Let that sink in 2 seconds. And you gotta wonder, the third part, one of the things, right during the time when the lawsuit was put in and blah, 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 he was trying to put together and forgive me if I'm saying the wrong word, but like a black caucus type of thing where it was, popular brown and black artists, world renowned, your kind of like your Fat Joes, your Snoop Dogg's, your 50 Cents, blah, blah, blah. People like of this nature. Maybe not 50 Cent. I'm just giving you an example. And he wanted to get them together to help bring people of the so-called urban community together to, fight for votes. His thing was, you'll hold your vote till they promise you some shit, right? This is the speech that he was talking. He said it multiple times, right? And shortly thereafter is when all of this stuff transpired. And you gotta wonder, like, had he not done that, he'd have probably been like scot-free. There would have been no issue. He'd have been all right. Nobody would have said a word. Everybody would have been fine, right? He'd have been out on the road still doing his thing, whatever that may be. But it makes you think and wonder, like how far up does this thing really go? Like how bad they didn't want to, I know dudes that have done more heinous crimes on a personal level. I know them, right? Heinous crimes, and they've gotten bail way under what he was willing to pay, with way less restrictions than what he was willing to give up. And they got bail. Right? So it kind of leaves you like, what's really happening? You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on with this whole case and situation? And then, yeah, I know the video came out and we all seen that. Again, I'm not saying that he's not guilty of shit. Not saying that he's not guilty of some really nasty work, but what he is guilty of because of popular opinion does not mean anything in the judicial system. There's two different things. And me personally, I just hate when people get on a mic and they get on their soapbox and they start saying things because they saw a clip of, or this, that, and the third. Or, it goes even as far as, Mr. 45 himself. People say, oh, he did this and he did that, or whatever. And again, not a person that I'm caping for, but facts are facts, truth is truth. There's a lot of things that people say that he's done and said and he didn't do or say. I'm talking about 45, not Diddy, right? If you don't know who Mr. 45 is, go Google it and you'll figure it out, right? But back to the Diddy situation, I just think that is something just feels off. Something doesn't feel 100% right. From the arrest, the amount of information, and let me say this: some of you people who are coming out with your Diddy stories now, and I'm not talking about the ones who experienced whatever abuse. I'm not talking about that. You or those people, right? Not talking about that at all. What I'm talking about is some of you who smiled, danced with them, partied with them, and you did all the good stuff, and now you turn around and now you want to start telling the story. Oh, I remember when he did this. I remember when he did that. Do you realize that the stories you're telling borderline make you fucking complacent or complicit? Am I saying it right? Complacent? It makes you an accomplice to whatever it is that you're saying that he committed a crime. You fucking idiot. Like, y'all cracked me up. Oh, I remember when he did such and such, this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I was right there when he did it. Oh, so you're an accomplice. Lock your ass up too. Stupid. You need to get locked up too. As an accomplice. You watched it go down, and here it is. You get on your little Instagram, X, Snap, TikTok. You get on your little soapboxes, spilling all the tea, right? For the likes and the comments. only and the engagements, only to turn around and realize you're an accomplice, and on top of the accomplice, you're an FE. I'm sorry, not FE, FI. Right, a fucking idiot. You're an idiot because you could have kept that to yourself. Right. But now you just looking for your and I realize all the people that are coming up with the stories and have something to say are the people that only had 15 minutes of fame and are looking for the next 15 minutes. Go ahead and let that sink in. I'm going to vape real quick. Goodbye. Good luck. Hold on. Yep. So y'all are complacent too. I mean, accomplices too. Right. So y'all should be equally as locked up. You should be in the cell right next to him. If you have all these stories, you seen it all. I was his such and such. I was his manager, blah, 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 and I seen him, and you didn't say anything. Right? You never reached out to maybe if you had spoke up ahead of time, maybe the people who really underwent some of the torment that they were going through, you could have put a stop to that. But no, you held on to it because what? You're going to say, oh, because he was too powerful and you were afraid? No, because if you came out with the truth, there would have been people who backed you and you would have been protected, right? But no, you kept your mouth shut to allow whatever he's being accused of by other people, you allowed that to happen. So that makes you an accomplice and you should be equally locked up. Plain and simple. That's where it is. Right. Again, I say, like, not caping for the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know him personally. But what I will say, whatever he is guilty of, yes, he should be charged with. Right. And he should, if he is found guilty, then he should take said punishment. But there is something funny and funky about these charges and the way they are being presented and the way that they're being conducted. Something doesn't feel right about the whole thing. The timing doesn't feel right. The charges don't feel right. Everything about it just feels like nasty work, and it's something that if you take away just a regular popular opinion and really think about what's happening, you would say to yourself, hey, something does not seem right. It just is not just about the liquor company wanted their lick back. You know what I mean? But, pardon the pun. But it's not just about that. There's more to it. And if you have any common sense, you will understand that. You would see it. And you would say to yourself, like, yo, why is this happening now out of a thing? Remember, this didn't just start with Cassie. It didn't. Like, the storyline started with Cassie because of the lawsuit, and I've said it a billion one times. When we heard about the Cassie lawsuit and whatever, remember, that was a civil suit. He wasn't charged with anything criminally. It was a civil suit. And people were like, oh, he caved in 2 days. No, because and then Cassie ain't shit because she took the money and whatever. Listen, here's the thing. Yes, she took the money, but it was already going on for like 6-7 months before we even heard about it publicly, right? It was already going on. So when we finally heard about it, it was one of those things like, you know what? I'm not paying you because of what you said. I'm paying you because of what you could say. Right? Because if it's already said and done, then it is what it is. What am I paying you for? You already did the damage. So there's no need to have a conversation about anything because the damage is already done. What I'm going to pay you to do is shut the fuck up about the rest of the pain and anguish and all that other good stuff. So here comes, you feel like you didn't get enough, and then all of a sudden now the video comes out. right? Which proves what you were saying. I'm all for it. Do what you got to do. If you feel attacked, abused, uncomfortable, any of that thing, address it. Address it and address it immediately. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Address it immediately, because at the end of the day, your sanity is what counts for your, what's the word? I lost the word. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, listen, you got to feel safe within. You got to feel good within. You got to feel like, be able to walk through life guilt-free, right? And holding that in and not telling, and I get it, it's a struggle for some people, because it's like, what's the backlash going to be or whatever. But listen, if you are a person who believes in, wrongs need to be righted, then speak your truth. The truth is always going to win, no matter what. No matter how hard, the road might be a little tough. I wouldn't lie to you. The road might be a little tough for you to get to feel like you have your vengeance, so to speak, right? But it's something that you need to go through and walk through, because it's going to be the healthiest thing for you physically and mentally. And even vice versa, mentally and physically, whichever one you want to put first. But at the end of the day, right? So, again, something feels funny, fishy about his work, about this whole judicial process that's going on. The next part of it is not even next part. She's not really a part of it. I'm talking about the chick Jaguar, right? She's not really a part of it. And people want to deem and call her crazy. Yes, she may be a little off. She may be a little off or whatever. But I would say this. Even a clock, a dead clock is right twice a day. Right? Even a slow clock is right twice a day. So this is what I feel personally. I think she takes a lot of things and compiles them. A lot of information she's known over the years, she compiles them, and then she adds her opinion and what could be from that situation. Right? Because she's constantly talking about she has a receipt. I've yet to ever see a receipt from this woman. But at the end of the day, who am I? Who am I to be like, hey, show me the proof? But if enough people say, hey, show me the proof that you say you got, her conversation might be a little bit different. Her, the numbers and amount of interviews she's doing might be a little bit different, right? And it's almost one of those things that it's not even might be. It's like a guarantee that it's going to be different. And again, I say, she's not a crazy woman. She might be a little off. She's anybody that's been through the industry, like they're not sane people. See, sane people. These are people that they done been through a couple of things, and it don't always have to be to the baby oil and whatever level. But there is situations where, yeah, it could be maddening to a person, especially someone who is not that strong in mental health, right? So I'm not calling her crazy. I'm not calling her anything outside of her name other than, listen, at some point in a time when you're talking, it gotta be the facts. It can't just be, it gotta be an 80-20. It gotta be 80 fact, 20, your opinion, and maybe even less, 90-10, right? But you can't continue to do that and expect that now people are going to respect what you're talking about, right? So, we covered Jaguar, right? We covered P. Diddy. We covered, you little F-nuts that want to tell me how and why and all this other stuff, man. Leave me alone, man. Let me do my thing, bro. let me do my thing, man. Just be easy. You know what I mean? Lately, I told you my dad died the other day, and I you know what? Here's another little thing. So somebody said to me, "Hey, did you cry yet?" I was like, "No, I didn't. I don't know if I ever will. I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't have it planned out like, oh, on this day I'm gonna cry." Like, nah. But it's still like a weird like feeling. Like I told you, like feel like something's unplugged, like a little loose. And there's something in me that feels like, it's so easy to slide back to the old Reds, where Reds didn't really give a fuck. And would just go loose and go buck wild. But I don't want to be that guy no more because I'm way too old now. Not old as in old, but just old for those antics. And I don't want to be there. So I choose not to, but I feel it bubbling inside me. Like a volcano, and it just wants to erupt. And it's so easy to be that guy. It's actually easier to be that guy than to be this guy. But I choose not to. Right? But that's just between me and you. We keep it a secret. Right? So, back to Diddy. You know, Gene Deal. I want to know, has anybody read Gene Deal? If you're unsure, you haven't heard, Gene Deal is a dude who was Puff security for a period of time during the 90s, when from the time he like Puff like kind of like just got on the scene till I want to say, I know he had took a break in between, but I want to say, let's just say for conversation's sake, from, early 90s to 97. So let's just say he had a good maybe anywhere between 5 and 7 year span of being around him and whatever. Gene Deal has been saying the same story for the longest. And not that I'm tired of it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that it has a curve. Usually when somebody's bullshitting, something gets added or subtracted. And nothing has changed about a story over the years. Now, I've said how I've gotten the whole Biggie death story. If you're not sure, then go back a few and you'll hear the storyline. But Gene Deal is a dude that's been putting it on the line ever since, for the longest. And it's only now that shit happened, and now people are like paying attention to what he's been saying all the time. Because prior to this, they would just, oh, he's a hater dude, you know what I mean? He probably wasn't getting paid enough. No. You have people on this planet that just like shit to be just and like shit to be fair, and that's the kind of dude that Gene Deal is. I can say that on a personal level. That's just the kind of dude. He just wants everything to be fair, and for the good people to get their just due, and for the bad people get their just due. Everybody should get their fair share, and that's the kind of dude he is. That's the kind of dude he's been, and you know what I mean. And I respect it. But all that being said, he wrote 2 really good books. I think I'm not completely sure, so I don't want to lie, but I know one was a bestseller at one point. It was doing really well. I don't know if both were under the same category and they were like doing the numbers for both, but it's a really good read. I advise y'all to go out and cop his book and read it. But all that being said, I need y'all to really bypass what popular opinion is with this whole Diddy case, right? Really pay attention to what is really being said, what's really happening. Don't just go, oh yeah, they got such and such, and they're supposed to be a witness or whatever. Nobody told you that. you heard that from somebody, and then your rumor you repeated and try to make it fact. Say that. But please don't do the whole you are completely in the know, because it's bullshit. You really don't. And you don't. You know what I mean? And for those of you, and I'm going to go back to it again, those of you who are bringing up topics and then turn around and saying that, oh, you can't talk about it, or you want to say something you can't say, then just don't even bring it up. And tell your co-host don't bring it up. It's silly, it's stupid, like, and then you wonder why you can't get these deals that are being laid on the table for people, mediocre at best, or lackluster, or what have you, right? Because you won't speak your truth. You're still trying to protect relationships that you say you don't have, and that's nasty work, right? So again, and people can see through that and be like, yo, is he gonna talk, or are they gonna talk, or is he not gonna? Are they not gonna talk? Like what are they doing? So it gets annoying. So if you're not gonna address the situation, don't even bring it up, right? And with that being said, this is gonna be a real short one, man. Like, I try not to hold y'all guys for too long, but get in and get out. But listen, again, I say y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I respect it, and I appreciate you, right? So with that being said, I will see y'all guys in 2 weeks. Stay blessed.